all the Power Rangers banding together for the ultimate battle for the good of Earth, as well as the entire universe. Now that's got to be something in every fan's mind since Megaforce started. And when viewers finally got to witness it in the last part of its finale, it felt like a simple breeze and took only 2 minutes. Nothing more intense. If I guessed it right, most people did not take it as well as they would like to. But I believe what is done on the show is reasonable. I watched that last part, and let's just say I made the most of the moment. For what happened there, it was only the remainder of the soldiers left to get rid of, even if it is a couple hundreds of them. And the Megaforce Rangers were helped by most of the current Power Rangers so far, which only made the final cleanup simpler. Reason being that they were honored by the Megaforce Rangers using the legendary Ranger powers. Although the situation as it stood did seem sufficient enough to look like those other Rangers would be needed, I don't think they showed up willingly just because they want in on the last piece of action. Anyway, the plotline of every Power Ranger coming together is intriguing enough. The execution of it, though, is not what even I would have hoped for. However, I believe that even the current people behind Power Rangers were aware that the folks who watched the show would be tremendously thrilled to see the more phenomenon of all the Power Rangers coming together. But it should happen when it makes the most sense. First of all, in order for this team-up to happen, all the existing shows have to be canon to each other in some way. And there should be no reboots, let alone such that don't happen in the same place and time as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If that kind of reboot ever happens, I see absolutely no chance of the team-up ever happening. Now on to how this ultimate team-up should work. Granted that Dino Charge would be the following season, it means that there would be more teams to see. At such point, who knows how many teams there will be in total by the time the whole franchise is done with. If the time comes that the most important battle for the fate of Earth and every Power Ranger needs to be there, it needs to be all of them. And when every Power Ranger is present, they all need to be young enough and fit enough for it. Acknowledging the veteran Rangers, for how long since they'd be having their powers, you should understand that the time will come when they can't keep their powers any longer because of their old age. So someone has to take their helm. Whoever they may be, whether they are close friends, family members, let alone relatives of a future generation, or even family friends, they would need to be trustworthy enough. And knowing the few Rangers with more than one Ranger power, they ought to give the different powers to individual people, so that when one person was 2 or more Rangers, each recruit would be given a separate Ranger power, so that all of those Rangers can be at that same place at the same time. It also counts when the Megaforce Rangers will have to give their legendary mode powers to different people. Now, because all Power Rangers have to be present in this event, it's best that this event happen when Super Sentai is retired. Even during the airing of Megaforce, that Japanese team was still generating their ideas, and some of such that would become opportunities to be adapted into Power Rangers. And as of this video, I'm sure enough that there still are new concepts that the makers of Super Sentai are wanting to explore. Who knows when the ideas are run out? Or at least when the Super Sentai producers decide to stop. That considered, this Ultimate Power Rangers team-up should be the last thing to happen in the entire Power Rangers franchise. I doubt a full-length motion picture is perfect for this special team-up to occur. And for sure, it cannot last for one episode. I think it would work best in a seasonal series, much like the other shows that centers on one team at a time, while still being canon to all of those other shows. How many episodes it takes depends on the screen time to give each and every Ranger, the plot line, and whichever and how much plot points need to be resolved. But as long as it's the necessary time to close the book of Power Rangers in the correct way, it should be worth it. Finally, there needs to be the right storyline for this team-up to happen. For starters, all the existing Power Rangers have to be in it. The main antagonists ought to have some kind of connection to the villains, or events, or both, from the shows. Should there be enemies who should return? Only whoever is required, and if they're required. And most importantly, it must be fully confirmable that every event of Power Rangers is connected in a way to lead up to this turn of events. And when it's over, it means all of it is over. All the enemies are neutralized, and there won't be any more threats serious enough to necessitate new teams. An all Power Rangers team-up can happen, but it can only happen at the right time and under the right terms and conditions. But if it can happen, it will happen. As a lifelong fan of the franchise since the first show, I would definitely enjoy this. But no Ranger should be left out of it. And now I turn it over to you. Do you think all Power Rangers joining forces is an event that deserves to happen? And what would you like to see in it? Leave your comments so I can read it. And thanks for watching.